All right, all right. Eric, you ready?
I was born ready, my friend.
G, you ready?
I'm ready.
We're all ready. We got Justin in here. Say hello, Justin.
Hello.
Got Sebastian
What's good?
and Colin. We've got Colin, the man, the new man at Dev Team 6. Say hello, Colin.
Hello.
All right. So here we are today, guys. Welcome to the future. Continuing the journey. This is definitely something we are all excited about. I know a lot of people on this call are looking for how this process is going to work. So we're going to talk a little bit about the next couple hours, what's going to happen here in approximately an hour, how that process is going to work, what you need to do. We are then going to talk just briefly on some topics. I know G has a few from the community that they would like to get some more clarity on. So he's going to toss those our way. We're going to give you guys some answers, get you some details that clearly I know that are out there and some questions that need to be answered. So everybody, the goal, the hope after we're done here today is to not only put you guys in a place where you feel excited, you're ready, you feel confident, you know what's going on, you know how you need to move or do your moves, make your moves properly, and that everybody is moving into the new era of Pi, the future of Pi, in one unison direction, holding hands, running towards that same purpose. So, that being said, Eric,
Yes.
talk to me a little bit about. So we're getting ready. Eric and the team, the development team, have got a migration tool.
You guys are going to love it. It's easy. It's one tool. You connect your wallet. It looks at every token you've got. It even tells you if you need to migrate tokens that are older, how to migrate them into the token you need in order to migrate. There's buttons for that. It's super easy. It's super simple. The top half will tell you what you have in your wallets and if you need to migrate older tokens first. And it'll also tell you below what your breakdown is and what it is you're going to receive. So super easy.
So, question I have really quick, just for the audience out there. We certainly have people out there of the likes of Paisano with 40 plus wallets.
41, I thought.
Right, 40 plus, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the word is it's 41, but I suspect he might have more than that. But
Indeed.
the point that I'm making is these all need to be done separately. The tool's not going to go into all your MetaMask wallets if you have multiples.
No,
You need to
connect
go
each
each
one
one separately.
Yep.
Okay, just so that everybody's clear on that. I know sometimes people think it's a one stop shop, connect, and you're done.
True.
If you do and you are a Paisano, you definitely need to get your all your wallets and ducks in a row and make sure.
All together.
Yeah, get them all together. I do have to say a very cool feature, which Eric touched on a minute ago, was the old token migration. There are people, and believe it or not, I know somebody here on the team that actually had this happen on Friday when they were looking at, or I think it was the voting process. They looked at wallets to see, and they found a wallet that had like multiple old tokens in it,
Sure.
and they were like, oh no, we want to give these guys a way to make sure if they've got them, it identifies the old tokens, because sometimes we don't even know that these old tokens, and it happens a lot for different reasons. It can happen. Maybe you did a circle of pi at the very end there, and you already, once you pulled it all out, you still had some tokens left from the old pi or something like that, or it could be a reward token from a previous migration that did not get completely migrated. So the good news is the DApp that we built and Eric and the team put together is very nicely done in the sense that it identifies any of these tokens that potentially could have been migrated. Now, Eric, does it go all the way back to the I don't want to say it out loud, but I guess I don't have a choice to say it out loud. Does it go all the way back to the cream pie days?
That
Or is it just migration 1, 2, or
it's at least the latest migration on that.
okay.
I don't remember if we put the cream pie days in there. It probably is in there. But definitely some of the tokens that we ran into were, not even remembered. So
Yeah.
it was
Okay.
it's a great feature.
Awesome. So that being said, what is going to happen is we are going to push live the migration link that we will be dropping in the Discord here shortly. That link will go live as soon as we drop the link. It will be available to use. So just be patient. It is about 12 after 4 p.m. PST. We do anticipate dropping that link around 5 p.m. PST today. We will be available via Discord as well as jump back on in voice chat if necessary to assist anybody that's having any challenges. I know mods will be out there and they'll be available as well. Our simple goal is to then restake all the liquidity for the new the new token essentially is going to be 4 different tokens that you're going to see. Actually, I say that and I mean 3 new ones, which will be Pi, Apple, and Peach. Those will be 3 new tokens that will be there. And then when it comes to Cherry, it'll break off standalone. So there will be 4 total possible tokens within the ecosystem that will be utilized within the project, obviously, moving forward. I know there's a lot of questions. G, do you want to throw us some of these questions, some of the bigger, more clarity things that people are really looking to understand?
Yeah, so if you want to just kind of let them know, anybody that's on a centralized exchange that has their Pi or their mini Doge tokens on a centralized exchange, what does this process look like for them? What do they need to do in order to migrate their tokens?
Sure. So, great question. And the answer is very simple. In order to migrate, centralized exchanges do not usually offer any sort of migration assistance. Centralized exchanges are really driven by market makers and just providing almost a platform for people to utilize when it comes to more of a peer-to-peer type marketplace. However, they do not automatically migrate your tokens, and that is just not simply a normal thing. Now, if it was an exclusive centralized exchange that was the only centralized partner, I guess you could say, of Pi, then there's a chance that they may work with us to do such a thing. But that's simply not the case in this scenario. So, in order to do so, you must transfer any other tokens. It could be mini Doge, it could be Moonforce, it could be
Fuel.
Pi, it could be any of the reward tokens. If there's any out there in any central exchanges, you would need to. We would need to see those transfer into a MetaMask, a Trust wallet, some sort of wallet type companion that you're utilizing, and then you would make the migration with the link that we provide. Now, you can obviously, once the migration is done, what you choose to do with those tokens at that time is up to you. But I highly do not recommend to send those tokens back to the centralized exchange, because if they don't have the updated and they haven't migrated their systems yet on their side to accommodate the new Pi token, because it is a new contract, it is something that is going to need to be integrated into those centralized exchanges. If you do send those tokens back, you risk, very big time risk, the opportunity where the centralized exchange might accept them into the same wallet number or transfer number that you transfer back into. However, allocation of those tokens may not be done due to the fact that the system has not been integrated with the new contract information. Which leads me to the next step, which is, are we going to integrate the centralized exchanges for Pi with the contract information. So there are certain centralized in terms of how they work with the project. There are some that we feel are kind of just plug and play, and they don't really do much of a benefit really when it comes to us getting awareness and driving the project to the heights and the potential that we believe in it. So there are some centralized exchanges. We will announce them this week that we are going to be making that full migration on their end, and the system integration will be done. And then there will be some of the centralized exchanges which we will not actively do, only because they are not a centralized exchange that has proven in the past to really have any benefit to the project. So we'll release that information this week. That will be coming shortly. I would suspect probably no later than Thursday, but we should know no later, absolutely drop dead by Friday, to let you guys know which centralized exchanges we plan the full integration to happen right away. Doesn't mean that any ones that we don't do right away, doesn't mean we will not in the future make those integrations. It just means they're not in sequence of priority for us to go out there and do right away, because it does take some time. It takes some integration conversations need to take place. There's some teamwork that goes on between the centralized exchange and Dev Team 6. So in order to allocate our resources properly, we do want to take them in sequence of priority. But that, again, like I said, does not change the fact that we are going to potentially eventually do all of them. It also, we are in the process of conversations with some new centralized exchanges, which we will reveal to you guys shortly. We're not going to open any of those doors until we've got anything. We're not even mentioning names of these exchanges, mainly because we want to make sure that we've got an integration complete. Anybody that knows the process of securing a centralized exchange and actually getting it positively integrated with the exchange will understand that, it's always step one is everybody agreeing in principle that we do want to list this token on this exchange, and both parties agree that it's of benefit to the potential investors on the exchange. But when you get into the integration process is when the nuts and bolts start to fly, and that's when you realize whether or not the integration can take place. Compatibility is 100%, and everybody is going to come out on the other end in the right place. So we will not probably announce anything, even if we've got a listing date. Listing date actually comes to you ahead of the integration process, which kind of makes it a little bit weird to me, because it's not been fully confirmed. Even though you've got a listing date, let's say it's July 17th, they're going to list Pi on, Gate.io. That's great. They gave us a listing date, but now the nuts and bolts need to start, going through the compatibility process, integrations, obviously tokenomic fees. We got to be able to turn wallet. Certain whitelisting has to happen for fees. There's all sorts of little pieces that need to move. And there's no guarantee that, number one, that date will be met, but number two, that we ever fully actually list yet, because we got to go through a couple verifications and validations before we get there. So I just want people to understand we are actively working on getting additional exchanges and listings. These things will be announced as we not only have secured a listing date, but we've also finished and got confirmation that the integration process is complete. Then what we'll do is ask them to push us out a week or so for a listing, and then we'll utilize that listing date and then announce everything at that time. We want to be very, very, very confident in everything that we announce going forward. Our goal is to make sure that we are always ahead of it. If we announce something, it's already been done, confirmed, and complete. We're not going to announce, well, we want to get it by Friday, and then we're kind of waiting on two things to wrap up, and it's Monday. And then, we assume everything will be ready by Thursday and Friday the latest. And then we get to those times and we're kind of pushing it back into next week again. When we announce something from this point forward, it will already have been confirmed. It will already have been tested. It'll already have been verified and validated that date, that time, it is already ready to go. Now, kind of stinks for all of us because that means a little bit more time will be put in between when we're ready and the actual time that it goes and gets pushed live to the public. However, it is the best way for us to manage everything we do going forward because not only is the project got a special story to tell, but we want people's level of confidence in everything we say, everything we do, all the Medium articles that start coming out, everything we say to you guys in announcements, everything you hear. If there's a date and a time, you can bet 100% that we have verified, validated, and we have confirmed that that date will be met. That date will not lose time. We are not going to come to you and say, okay, well, something happened and we can't validate something, so we're going to have to wait till Monday. Our goal is to never be in that position again. Now, obviously, nobody can guarantee that to happen. This is tech. Things do happen. However, we are going to absolutely change our process on how we push information to you guys because we want to make sure that this is streamlined and everything just flows in a very positive fashion for us growing everything in the future. So, Mr. G Money, what was your next one?
So a big one that we really wanted to kind of just touch and go over with how this will work with the merge obviously happened in less than an hour is the moonshot address and what we're planning to do with that BNB. Is it going to go off? Is it going to be used somewhere else? If you wouldn't just kind of explain through that process for everybody.
Sure. So, one thing that we obviously the voting and the DAO and everything that we utilize for each separate project, the vote was clear. The proposal was clear that we were going to agree that the merge would take place. So that is already confirmed. That is already done. Those were the things that were on the docket essentially to, be voted on. One of the things that obviously does remain intact is that there is different projects that have essentially different tokenomics. One of which is Moonforce. And with Moonforce, you've essentially got an additional component. And the only reason I'm talking through this is because I'm not sure that everybody on this call is as familiar with what this means. So I want to always try to break down as much as possible so everybody gets on the same page. This additional component was really built to take a certain percentage of the tokenomics and essentially the way that tokenomic would work is that tokenomic would be sitting in the contract, it would build up, and then that would then be utilized as a booster, essentially a moonshot, as we called it. That booster would go back into the market essentially, which just in layman's terms, so people understand, when you use Moonshot to buy back or buy into the market, you're essentially putting it into the LP. It's a fancy way of adding the BNB that's in the Moonshot into the LP pool. So it essentially goes into the LP, it takes some tokens out of the market, but it essentially adds that liquidity, or at that time, it adds liquidity into the LP. So in looking at, I guess, the way that the market's been moving lately, the environment that we've been living in, as we all know, has not always been, it's been very highly sensitive, and there's been a lot of movement that takes place within the market out there every single day. And so when we were getting close to unlock time, for Mini and for what we're getting into now with Moonforce, in order to put that right back in right before we pull the liquidity today, it essentially is no different than taking it and adding it to the liquidity for the combination of sorts. In doing so, putting it into the liquidity risks a big time amount of where there's a lot of risk potential based on our historical data that shows us that every time it is used or utilized, essentially there are watchful eyes that are waiting for it to be utilized so that they can sell and then buy back lower, which again is very artificial. It artificially hurts our ability to memorialize that liquidity and put it for the benefit of the bigger picture, essentially. So what we're going to be doing with Moonshot B&B is putting it into the liquidity pool for the core token. So it'll add to the liquidity base or baseline for the token itself, and it'll afford everybody the opportunity to not have people just see it happen and then boom, they sell against it and use it as an artificial way to take some sort of arbitrage gains.
I think it's a great idea. Definitely protects the project overall. So a great decision by the team, in my opinion. Those are honestly some of the top two biggest questions we've really had across the community. I think that's really everything I have for you.
Okay. Eric, did you have anything that you wanted to add to talk a little bit? I mean, we're going to talk a little bit about the LP. Obviously, restaking of all tokens. Those 3 will get restaked with LP. We are going to be pulling Cherry and then restaking it with more LP. We are going to be putting more liquidity behind Cherry as well. So everybody is aware. You will see that take place. It'll be the same token. So please don't worry that Cherry is going to change. Cherry will stay the same contract and will stay the same token. We will add to liquidity for Cherry. So we will be adding additional liquidity to get a higher threshold of liquidity. Our goal, Eric, is to be around 11-ish% for Cherry. Apple and Peach will come in at around 11% of the liquidity to market cap ratio. And then obviously Pi will be in that same realm, just like we talked about last week. So those will all get restaked. We're looking at, I believe, what would you say, the migration will start, but we're all that's going to be done prior to migration starting.
Which part?
The liquidity.
Yeah, liquidity pools will be live at 5 o'clock when migration opens. Also remember that you'll be able to stake in pools and farms for all of the tokens with BNB as well as BUSD pairs. And that'll be live as well. Rewards won't start until 5 p.m. tomorrow. So 24 hours after we do the migration, rewards will start in the staking and farms. So make sure you stake and get in the farms that you want to be in ahead of time so that when rewards start, you're just rolling right along with them. So just keep an eye out for that with the different farms and pools that are available.
Correct. So again, just to reiterate, rewards will not start until 5 p.m. tomorrow. PM meaning 5 p.m. PST.
That's correct.
It will be a time frame that gives everybody an equal opportunity to migrate first. So your first and foremost thing you need to do starting at 5 is to make sure you connect any wallets you have with any of the ecosystem tokens in there. Make sure you get the migration complete. And then you're going to want to be able to go back into PiSwap, go to the Earn tab, which will then take you to either farms or pools. Those of you that have core token as well as any reward tokens from the migration, you're going to want to stake those into the pools and appropriately get that complete right away. The second one would be anybody that wants to keep a portion of core or reward token and marry it with some BUSD or BNB and put it into a farm. Farm opportunities are going to be great. We are going to also provide a little bit more emissions towards farms, so it gives people an incentive to participate. So please take a look at that. Even if you're not a farm person, I would highly recommend that if you ever have thought about it, or it's even something that you think would be possibly an opportunity for you, it is highly recommended to look, because this might be that one time that, you know, we offered great APYs at a early start of this new ecosystem. And again, it will start out with great emissions to incentivize to get people to have a reason to want to participate. Obviously, those will come down as, you know, time progresses, because that's kind of how incentives are built. But they will normalize into a point where it's still extremely beneficial to be participating in those farms. So please take a look. If you're not a farm person or a farmer, it's never too late. It's never too late.
Never too late to try something.
Never too late, right? But definitely pools will work. So you're going to have a stake your pie to earn Apple pool. Again, it's the new Apple token. Those of you that don't know what that new Apple token consists of, it is Apple, existing fuel, existing ride, and existing trick. It will be the four of them combined into one token called Apple. This token will be the reward token. So when you stake your pie, your core pie, it will earn Apple. Once you've done that, it will then be you stake your Apple to now earn Peach. Peach obviously is going to be the combination of charge, gravity, as well as treat. And then obviously Cherry breaks off into its own market essentially and does its thing. But those three will combine a total supply that will then be traded as Peach token. So if you've got, obviously you're going to have some Apple, you're going to have some Peach. Make sure you're staking those in the Apple to earn Peach token and Peach to now earn Pie.
And there'll be two more pools. There'll be Cherry to earn Pie, and then there'll be Peach to earn Pie. So make sure that you can do your circle of pie any way you like. If you got Cherry, you can definitely keep staking it to earn that pie.
Correct. So if you have any troubles with pools, let us know. We're definitely here. I know there's questions on what is the next steps after all that's complete. The next step is at 5 p.m. the next day. We are going to start the earnings. So make sure that you're aware of that. I know some people have different strategies on how they utilize those. Now, keep in mind, obviously, your harvestable tokens are available to you. So you are able to harvest and stake if you'd like to try to gain any sort of advantage or whatever your strategy might look like.
Yeah, and that brings about another thing. If you're staked in pools right now, at 5 o'clock, the lock time will be removed from those pools. So anyone that's staked in the last 5 days, you don't have to worry about the lock time. It'll be off, and you'll be able to unstake right away.
Yeah, so the lock time is something I know that they do want to make sure that they're not stuck anywhere. So that is a great point, Eric. I think the other really big point also has to do with centralized exchanges. We did take the fees off, so you are able to transfer mini or anything else that's out there in a centralized exchange.
So I'm gonna touch up on, just interrupt you there for the mini doge, just so everyone knows I made an announcement earlier. We were experiencing an issue. We turned off the tax for wallet-to-wallet transfer for mini doge, but we are advising not to transfer between wallets because it is coming back on every few transactions. So the dev team said it was best that we
migrate first.
Migrate first before you utilize any wallet-to-wallet with your old mini doge.
That's a great point.
Yeah, if you migrate first, I know a lot of us like to have it in whatever one place, but if you migrate first, it avoids any sort of issues with a wallet-to-wallet transfer with Mini. There is something really, really different in the contract.
Oh, and also just one more thing on the staking. You do have to make sure that you are unstaked before you migrate. So anything that you have staked, make sure you unstake it so it goes through the migration process and gets transferred for you.
So back to centralized exchanges, as I was speaking of a minute ago. There are some out there that are under maintenance. We are well aware of this. I do want you to know that this is not in our control. We do not control whether a centralized exchange is going to turn on token transfers or any of that nature. Sometimes these maintenance issues come up on their end. Some of these times they will ask us, they'll ask us to do certain things and kind of go through a process of some sort to help assist them. We are not aware of any communication from any centralized exchange at this time that they need us to assist anything or to do anything, essentially. So at this point, we are reaching out to the ones that we're made aware of, that we understand are still out there or outstanding, that have kind of limited the transfer process, or they say under maintenance when it comes to the tokens. Anything like that, we're on it. We already know about it. We're well aware of it. Devin and his side is working directly with those exchanges, and we should have some answers or updates on that as early as tomorrow. And I'd say maybe at the latest on Thursday, but we will give you guys some sort of update so everybody fully understands what they need to be doing when it comes to those centralized exchanges. But please understand, and I saw it the other day, and I saw it, I don't know, remember where it was. It was probably Telegram or something, but somebody was talking about, they were not happy. They thought, that we were the ones stopping a transfer from a centralized exchange. And guys, we have, again, it's centralized because one governance or one authority has the control there. We don't have control over their platform, nor do we control any of the wallets that are utilized for their entire infrastructure. So keep that in mind. G, was there anything else that you had?
We're here to spend something else that I think we kind of suggest so we get a good time frame for them so they know when and what to expect for the star and general rankings, not rankings. We're not doing leaves, but we just kind of give them an idea of still here. They're all just making sure that it's still going to be coming down the road, and then we update and adjust that.
Sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's talk a little bit about. I see this actually myself too a little bit. One thing that I've seen a couple times, and I just want to make sure we clarify how this is going to work. So you've got a lot of people that are asking, saying, "Hey guys, I spent a great deal amount of time getting myself up to speed when it comes to. I wanted to be a commander, and it took me a long time, or it took me a minute, or whatever it was. But I made sure that I met that threshold. I got to a commander level. These are things that are all going to be also in play. But one thing that we're making sure, excuse me, I know it's important to everybody to really focus on making sure that they come out the other side at an equal spot. Our goal, again, we always say no holders left behind, and we truly believe in that. We're not the team that's going to use this as an opportunity to say, okay, well, you were a commander before, now you're an engineer, and now you have to go buy more pie in order to get back to commander level. We are very, very, very big on staying true to what we establish. So in this case, what I mean by that is whatever the conversion for a commander level at 20 million Moonforce converts to pi at what rate, that rate we will come out with the new numbers. That the new number is going to be at a little bit below that number. So anybody that was right at 20 million or just above 20 million or anything over 20 million will actually keep you in the rank of a commander. Same would go for the other three spots. When it comes to star rankings, I know a lot of you are familiar with, star ranking 1 got you to 49,999. Star ranking 2 got you from 50,000 to 99,999. I just want you to understand the conversion rate on that, and how the star rankings is going to work. Keep in mind, we are doing a 1-for-1, right? So star ranking in the past is going to stay in play at the same rates. Same thing would happen for the general. The same numbers that were put out there for general, those same rankings are going to be in play. There is no conversion really because it's a 1-for-1 on both sides of those tokens. I know there are some people that say, hey, well, I worked really hard to get to my star ranking 4 at 250,000. Now, it's going to benefit some people that have tokens in all projects. It's going to benefit you essentially if you want to look at this as an opportunity to have 3 or 4 star ranking opportunities. Once you start combining everything, and maybe you've got 500,000 total in Apple, it's going to open up the door to give you the opportunity to have that be maybe 2 star ranking 1s or star ranking 4 opportunities for you, or if you've got multiples that you want to try to take advantage of. So a lot of people use it as strategy. They see the opportunity in this because that's really what it's all about, is multiplying leverage in anything that you do, whether it be in life or it be in your day-to-day, it be in your job, your business, or essentially in projects similar to what we're doing here. It gives you an opportunity to utilize the leverage that you can have. So if you're very fortunate enough to continue to have the opportunity to maybe have 2 or 3 different wallets set up with 4-star rankings in each one, you're going to get the benefits at 3x the star ranking you would have had from before, because you'll have it in each one of those wallets. And usually a lot of those benefits are built around obviously access to platform and access to different things within the ecosystem. And we are going to expand star ranking to also account for all the other platforms. We also are going to be doing stuff with star ranking. When it's access, it's not meaning that you have access just to go into something. It's access first to some types of things that are built within the ecosystem that allow you to actually be one of the first in line, so to speak, to be able to gain access to a special release or a special asset that we're doing within the Pi system that allows you to have access to it before the public. So these are some things that we feel very much is going to benefit everybody in the end. If you were just in Moonforce, obviously, star ranking, and you've already got a star ranking, it's going to stay in place. So there's no harm, no foul there. If you've been in multiple projects, you have multiple different tokens, it's an opportunity, and it's an opportunity to grow, opportunity to have more leverage. Leverage is everything. It gives you access to certain things that you could utilize for ways to level up in the future. G, what else you got?
One last big thing for you. I just want to know if you could share a little bit about the journey, what the future of Pi is, going to be, what it's going to look like, and what really the community can do to support this journey and be here for this greatness to come.
Yeah, so that's great. So the journey has been, obviously, a lot of you guys have been with us for quite some time. Some of you guys maybe are fairly new. Some of you are here just kind of listening, being a part of what's going on because you know somebody that kind of got you excited and involved in the project. One thing that I believe very deeply inside my heart, and I know Eric does too, we talk about this almost, I don't know if it's every day at this point, but in the last month, it has really resonated at a very high level for both of us, because it's kind of, I say it all the time, but I feel like we're finally crossing the bridge to the other side of where we want everything to start really rolling down the tracks in the same direction. And being at this crossroad, or at this now, kind of bend in the path, I guess you could say. We're taking the ramp, and we're actually getting on a new highway at this point. It's very refreshing, and it's something that, looking at where we've been, all the things we've been through, all the good and all the bad, and I don't want to call it bad. Anybody that looks at life and believes that you can fail, you truly end up failing. If you believe that everything that happens for a reason, so you can grow, you can evolve, and you can continue the journey forward, will actually succeed in hitting that final outcome that they set out to hit. And that's who we are. And that's what Eric and I truly believe in. And we believe everything that has happened along the way is something that has given us an opportunity to be positioned for the window of opportunity that is ahead of us. And that is where we are now embarking. And now the train is leaving the station on that journey to that destination that we've always seen within the vision. The vision is very large. Make no mistake about it. I get it. I think if we shared the whole vision with you, you guys would really think it was insane. But that's down the road. Those are things that we've learned a lot. That the vision is great. We can talk about it all day long. But we have to actually bring retail crypto into the vision and have them actually engage with what we're doing. So that is really the next steps. I know, G, you asked what was next. What do we have to look forward to here over the next few, month or two or three? Our next step is now that, we're going to be able to release Moonforce, new UI, new UX, look and feel. PieSwap is going to get re-released with a new UI, UX, new feel. Not going to give you dates, not going to give you times. I'm just going to tell you it's going to come when you least expect it. So we're kind of, I feel like it's Christmas. You don't know if Santa's going to come early, or you don't know if he's coming on the day of, or he's coming, a little bit late, but he's coming. Either way, Santa, and please no beard jokes with Eric. But Santa is going to deliver this, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. But my pride actually is built around the look, the feel, the standard, and being at a level that is not only acceptable, but a level that can actually possibly redefine the standard for what others are going to produce within retail crypto is where everything that we've ever talked about is what we've now are realizing at this point. It is something that has given me that level of confidence that brings so much happiness to my heart, and I know to Eric's heart as well, because we know what we've always been about. We know what we're capable of. And going through a lot of the things over the last year and a half have really given us an opportunity to optimize, given us a chance to figure out where efficiencies need to be made and what adjustments need to be made. And that's why we're in this place today. That's why we're having this conversation. So it's been a heck of a run, heck of a journey. I would deem it a very, very large success. Going out there and if I was, a lot of people always say that cliche thing, if we started over, we'd do all sorts of things different. I mean, that might be true, but we wouldn't have actually gained some of the experience of some of these things that have happened, which, by the way, anybody who really understands crypto and understands blockchain would understand that a lot of these things really have positioned us to be one of the safest projects and one of the safest teams in retail crypto, because we've been through some of these challenges. Some of these teams that have never touched them or seen them or had them doesn't mean that, they've never had these issues, they must be perfectly safe. It just means they haven't been attacked yet. It also means that some of these things that, things that could, pose even bigger, more catastrophic issues later have not, yielded their face yet. And us going through those and really putting us and positioning us in a very secure and safe spot. Also, as a team, just the knowledge base and everything that we know and everything that we understand and how we monitor, maintain, and manage the project in the future is wildly different than it would have been before, just based on the levels of experience we've been through. And, I take very, very deep pride, actually. Not only did we go through some of these things, but we came out the other end.
Yeah.
And we're still doing what we do, and we're resilient in the sense that we're going to go to the final potential. We're going to see this thing play out and our story to be told, because listen, every single day in crypto, there's another story that someone's telling that is out there that people are getting behind, that I scratch my head every day wondering, how are people getting so into this story, this roadmap, this project, when there's a dime a dozen? There's 20 other, 30 other, 40 other projects identically built to this same project, but seems like everyone's just so excited about it. A lot of people get behind these pumps and dumps. A lot of people get behind the different opportunities. Well, we're not just an opportunity of the month. We're not the opportunity of the quarter. We're the opportunity of a lifetime. In the end, that's who we are, and that's what we stand for. And in the end, this isn't about just going out there and trying to, get some people excited about us for a day. We're getting people to become lifers. We're getting people to actually buy into this as a blockchain and a company that is built around doing and building platforms that are core assets to support mass adoption. And when people say mass adoption, they use it so loosely. It's funny when you hear people say, "Oh, we can get mass adoption by just marketing and getting awareness." You ever seen the movie Field of Dreams? We've all seen it, right? If you build it, they will come. You got to watch the movie. If you watch the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about, right? It's essentially you got to build it right to where people will gravitate towards a place that they feel they can now engage because one, it's adaptable, it's adjustable, they can build comfort and confidence with it, and it feels no different than other things they've already built confidence in their lifetime. And that's what we're doing here with Pi. Pi is not just, oh, we're going to get mass adoption, we're going to run all over the world and tell everybody about our project. Yeah, we're going to do all those things, and we're going to get developers and business to business and all the things that we've all discussed. But Pi is really about the average person. Pi is about, I know it's going to sound funny because I said this, a year ago? We want your grandma to be able to join in and jump in and participate in crypto. We want everybody that in your lifetime. I mean, I look at my parents and I've looked at other people I know in my life that currently I know, and having those conversations it's challenging. A lot of it's because people hear the word and they immediately associate it with something they have no idea about. And be able to really bring adoption is going to be building a platform that people can easily comprehend and be able to feel similar to the way that they've operated in their lifetime. And where I'm going is how they onboard, how they get engaged with how these things work. What is it? How does it work? Pi is going to be that ecosystem that's going to build education into the average person so that they can not only be educated on what is going on with blockchain and technology, but they're going to be able to actually engage with it and immediately connect at a level that they're comfortable with, as opposed to, and this goes back to us making sure there's no artificial markets. This goes back to all the technology that is built into our core platforms that allows people back to, the lab and kind of looking at Pi Lab, now the previously known as Moonforce. It is built for the average person to be able to go in there and have a discovery channel that has full transparency, that they're going to be able to see and understand and have a place where, the score that these people, the lab score that these projects are going to get from the lab is essentially a score of trust. It's a score of, whether or not these projects are doing and the things that are supposed to be done are actually being executed, and transparency is truly available to the person. So they'll have a place where they can actually be able to operate within crypto that is going to provide them with guidance and be able to really engage on this in a level that no one's ever previously provided. So that being said, the next steps, next couple months is really just going to be us. Once we've got the two relaunches, I guess you could say, of the new UI UX, the user interface essentially of PiSwap and Moonforce. Once that's out, which we anticipate to be extremely soon, once that is out, we are going to hit the ground running. It is just all going to go straight retail crypto first, business to business on driving volume and into PiSwap. PiSwap and volume and us going out there and getting the word out. I mean, there's so many utilized tactics that we are going to use. A lot have been already proven, and they've been proven for the project in the past. They've been proven for a lot of other projects to do as well on the B2B side. We're going to go after the consumer by utilizing new centralized exchanges, because I believe very wholeheartedly that the story we have to tell is such a great story, and it is something that everybody can really get behind and get excited about. And as we clearly move into, the NFTs are going to be, minting the Genesis series for Legacy Friends, which is obviously driving us into even more utility, as well as more opportunity within the ecosystem, as well as really bringing in a lot of new faces. I don't think people realize the depth of how many new faces we're planning to go after and bring in that through that channel. So there's a lot of things over the next month or so that are really going to play out. Again, what to expect? You're going to see a lot of Eric and I. You're going to see us,
whether you like it or not.
you're gonna see us engaging a lot, because again, I've said this a week ago. I say it again today. It is a hell of a lot easier for me and Eric to be in one room and be able to provide as much attention as possible, so that everybody is getting that opportunity for us to work together in unison, than to be in 4, 5, 6 different rooms and try to manage all that. Really made it very difficult. And truth be told, if you kind of look at it, I would always get kind of caught because I'd get criticized a lot. Why is Bill in Pi, but he never comes to Moonforce? Why is Bill in Moonforce, but he's not in Mini Doge? Why is he in Mini Doge, but he's not in Symbol? So these are things that a lot of these issues are eliminated. Now we can actually go 100 miles an hour on getting back to our roots. Anybody that knows our roots, that was here, I know some of you on here were here from day 1, day 2, day 10, day 30, whatever. You remember what that was like. And I think a lot of people know the level of attention Eric and I gave to the project, to the people, the community, everything we were building back then. All those things is what we're going back to. So what it felt like then, that is our same goal, to bring that energy, bring that level of engagement, bring that optimism, bring the people within the project to also be as motivated as we are to continue to not only tell the story, but also contribute to the story as a community as well. So I hope that helps, G.
I've got one correction. I didn't catch it when we went over it earlier, but someone just brought it to my attention. Is the cherry token will also be migrated to a new cherry token. So please make sure you unstake your cherry, make it part of the process. We upgraded the contract a little bit, make it a little bit easier to trade, a little cheaper. So
We like optimization.
all tokens will be migrated. So make sure you unstake everything when you go to migrate, because they'll all be migrated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
All right, guys, we are on the final minute of the hour. So any minute now, we are going to drop the link. Did you want to leave this open, or
If we leave this one open, they still wouldn't be able to talk, so they can jump into
voice chat?
the Pi VC.
Okay.
And
It is live right now,
It's live now.
so you can drop the URL.
All right, guys. Well, the URL is ready. We're going to be dropping it right now. So please be ready to go. If you have any questions, let us know. We'll jump into voice chat here in a few. So join us on voice chat. We're going to close this room. We are, I believe, recording this, so we are going to shut the room down, and then we're going to open it up in the voice chat. So join us in there. Thanks, guys. We'll see you in a minute.